Devil in the details. Danny, obviously you've heard a lot of the other calls already. First of all, thoughts on the performance overall, Pogba's introduction, and where you think it went wrong and right tonight.
I have mixed feelings about the game because I don't want to overreact, but there are some thoughts that I've always had about our players and our team that I saw sort of come to fruition in the game today. First and foremost, look, both teams weren't sharp. You can see that. I think both teams were slightly tentative on the ball, but Tottenham were just a little bit more aggressive. And that's why I think so. Over the course of the game, Tottenham just seemed to have just a little bit of an edge over us in like 50-50s and things like that. In regards to the lineup, I think it's understandable why Pogba didn't start. I think anybody who's going crazy looking at the end result in hindsight saying, oh, Pogba should have started, if he only plays an hour and it's still 1-1, and we don't have Pogba for the last 30 minutes, our chances of winning the game are less anyway. So I think Oli made the right decision not starting Paul Pogba. The big issue for me now, sort of big picture stuff, David De Gea needs to be dropped. He can't be the number one goalkeeper anymore. He cost us the running last season, and we gave him a pass because of his history and what he's done for us. But he needs to be dropped immediately. That's his third big error this season. He did the same thing at the back end last season, and if we keep him in the team, we'll see more big errors, in my opinion. Another sort of change I want to see moving forward, Greenwood is better than Dan James. He's just better than him already. There's no need to ease him in anymore. He's ready to start games week in, week out right now. He looks like he's grown a little bit as well physically. Mason Greenwood looks like he's matured a little bit physically as well. So I don't think there's any excuses for Oli trying to protect him anymore. I think, he needs to be, because Dan James, his quality is just, what we saw? Because that sharpness wasn't there, we saw the players sort of in their base form, the things that they're bad at anyway, that they usually can sort of mask when they're in good form. Wan-Bissaka on the ball was terrible today. Absolutely terrible today. He gave the ball away so much. In the final third, he was just doing his freestyle stuff, following the ball, etc., etc. Fred and McTominay, for me, don't have to start in the same team ever again for us. We don't need these two starting together. For me, it has to be a midfield three with Pogba and Bruno, and either Matic, Fred, or McTominay. Either one of those three. Rotate them if you like. But there's no reason for those two to start together again for me.
Yeah, why they're fit. I wanted to ask you, we had Flawless on a minute ago. He said that he felt that when Mason and Pogba came on, we got better, but said that there was no style. It was just go out there and do what you want. For me, I'm not here to overly challenge the fan cams. This is for you guys to express yourself. For me, I didn't see Pogba taking up different positions to Fred or Greenwood taking up different positions to Dan James, which means there is a style. If it was freestyle,
it's not that. Look, this is what it is, right? Let's say it is freestyle, right? And let's say Oli allows the players to make good decisions on the ball, use their intelligence, understand where one man is, I move here, etc., etc. So what happens when you introduce better quality? All of a sudden, the decision making in the final third is better. The quality in the final third is better, and we create more chances. That's a quality issue. That's not an Oli doesn't have a plan with the ball. Like I'm good. I can't wait. You know what? It's a massive overreaction from Flawless to this one game. People who are Oli out, the way the game sort of panned out is going to sort of strengthen that argument for them. But there's another 9 games to go. And in those 9 games, I'll come back on and I will show the patterns of play. I will show the strategy that Oli has.
And I get that. And so for me, in terms of, I'm just looking at touches on the ball. So I just put Pogba's heat map on, and then I click on Fred's heat map, and it's pretty much identical areas of the pitch they touch the ball.
Of course it is.
If you look at Mason Greenwood's heat map, and then you click on Dan James's, and heat maps are accurate where you touch the ball. They're pretty much they're layered on top of one another. As an example, I mean, if you touch Martial's and then you touch on Igalo's, lo and behold, they're bloody identical. They're literally almost at the same. So there isn't a style. But
you know what? Sorry, Terry.
Go on, mate. Go on.
There was a moment in the game. Matic had been on the pitch. Remember, I called during half time. Yeah. Within 5 minutes of being on the pitch, picked up the ball, didn't have an angle with the pass. In that situation, trust me, Fred's passing the ball. All these guys that gas Fred does not problem solve in the final third. Matic pushed through the middle and he played this beautiful ball across the ground, sliding out to the right. Exactly. Fred, for me, a lot of people are gassed about him. He does the basics. In transition, Fred's phenomenal. When we can counter-attack, push the ball into space, Fred is amazing. But when we come up against a block like that, Tottenham, and give credit to Tottenham, Jose Mourinho's had 3 months to prepare for this game. You know, he's still a good tactician. Tottenham did what was necessary to stifle us, and they did, because that sharpness wasn't there. Lost my train of thought. I was going to bring up a point. Completely lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry,
but
mate.
Look, moving forward, Daniel James has to be dropped for sure. I agree with Flawless there. Mason Greenwood is better and has to play. De Gea needs to be dropped. If there's no headlines, if there's no discussions moving forward about De Gea, then he's being protected, and he doesn't have to be protected for me. Beyond that, that's what I was going to bring up. How did Harry Kane do today?
Man,
you know, for all these people who are overreacting to Martial, it's the first game back. Just chill out. Chill out.
This is the thing, right? I criticized Martial in the first half because he wasn't very good. But it's like I criticized Maguire's mistake. But outside of that mistake, Maguire was brilliant. So am I going to overreact and be like, get rid of him? Slow down. Absolutely slow down. The trash tonight was Fred and McTominay trying to run that midfield in the first half, because it was continual mistakes. The amount of mistakes that Dan James made, it's just that they weren't one that changed the scoreline, so people don't think about it. You know, what Dan James, McTominay, and Fred did tonight, and Martial in that first half, that for me is what I'm more fearful of than Maguire getting turned. And the Maguire situation is easy. We just either get Bailly back fit, or we buy a centre back who's good, it's pacey in the summer.
No, the Maguire's. I disagree there. Look, Maguire, we know he's slow. We know he turns very, very slowly. Again, it's a match sharpness thing. How many times has that happened this season? You know, we've played what? How many games have we played in all competitions? About 38. We played 38 matches in all competitions this season.
Yeah,
how many times has that happened that badly? Again, I think we're overreacting a little bit. We know it's a weakness of his, but when players are sharp, like I said, what we saw was players in their base form and what they're worse at and where they're weak, it got exposed because they weren't sharp. When players are sharp, they can basically get the best out of themselves. So we see it highlights the areas of the game where they're strong. So I'm not too concerned about Maguire in the long term, to be honest.
All right, mate. Thank you. Listen, everyone who's watching, please hit that like button. It's really important. There's 1,000 people watching right now. Please hit that like button. Dan, thanks very much for coming on, mate. We'll chat to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
No problem, man.